This NFL Draft Props edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Kalshi. Make real money predicting sports. Kalshi is available in a ton of states, and you get $10 free with promo code SGPN. That's Kalshi, promo code SGPN.
Hey, this is Brandon Lang. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. Finally, we're done talking about other bullshit sports. Get back to football.
There we go. We're back.
Just this college basketball. It's fun. We got definitely get the whistle a little bit, but my God,
talking National Football League. Joining us in studio from the Bottom Line Bombs podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, Mr. CJ Sullivan. What's happening, CJ?
What's up, fellas? Good to be here. I agree. Good. Finally, football is back.
Yeah.
A lot of sources and intel. Just looking at it, I see usually Spud sits there, but now I see it's been replaced by
no.
Tullamore Dew.
Is this episode sponsored by Tullamore Dew? Is that what's going on?
Is this a new rivalry? CJ versus the bottle of Tullamore Dew?
No, I just say I like it. It's a stand. I didn't know if they were a sponsor or just an enthusiast.
Friends of the program.
They gave us free whiskey, so we're happy to trade free whiskey
Cheap
for plugs.
Advertising here. Yes. Just one free product you put up there. When I was in Ireland once, I remember as a kid, I was brought over there, and we had a bunch of family over there. I remember, for some reason, it stuck in my mind when I was like 10, whatever. A T-shirt, a Tullamore Dew T-shirt that I almost they wouldn't get me because I was 10, but it said, "Throw away your pills; it'll cure all ills. Be you pagan, Christian, or Jew." Tullamore Dew.
That is a catchphrase.
That is a damn catchphrase. I just
the Irish are poets.
Yeah, they are. Absolutely.
It's one part of the culture, I think, right?
Yep. I remember
things happen to rhyme
get
strange
to the gab.
ways.
A lot of scholars get to the gab, James Joyce's of the world and whatnot. But
do they have claim over the limerick?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
it's the most
Irish limerick. Yeah, it's like a Venetian blind.
Yeah. You lost me, but yeah, I'm with you.
I don't know. I just wanted to put a culture in front of an object.
Yeah. Of course, throw it back in the faces of the great blinds of Venetia.
I remember when I was over in Ireland, I got introduced. We were hanging out at the local, and that to me was the most fun. Was hanging out in these like tiny villages and just going to the local pubs, and you see the 13-year-olds drinking with 85-year-olds, and it's a fun, just kind of like a fun town vibe. And a screen comes down, and they're like, "We're putting on the hurling." And I'd never heard of this sport until I went to Ireland. A sport called hurling, which it's kind of like
not throwing up outside of a bar either.
No,
right?
although that is a sport in and of itself in Ireland. Although those guys can handle their whiskey, there's not a lot of amateurs barfing. It's kind of like lacrosse, except it's like a flat stick, and you got the ball, and you're whacking it around. And then I said like, "Hey, what's the local team?" They told me, and then I went right next door. There was a betting window. I placed a money line bet on the hurling team, and they ended up winning. Wow. It was awesome.
So you asked which team was the local team, not which team should I bet on.
No, I said like, who's everyone rooting for? I think it was from that town.
I got it. I was making sure it's a fine line. You could end up on a situation where the local team sucks, and they could have given you some good intel.
But they're pretty open about their fixed markets over there as well. It's a combination, right, of lacrosse and highlight. Now, if any of the fans know what highlight is,
love highlight.
Yeah, of course. That's a very fast sport like that, but was also betting riddled scandals.
Oh my God! Yeah.
They're like dog track scandals, but it is a wild sport. And I was over there. I was over there recently as well, actually. Been over there a couple times. The first one was in Northern Ireland, and
it seems like I'm outnumbered here.
It was great because it was like a dog coming back to the farm. Like I am home. Like this old man.
It does feel like all these people that look like me.
All right, they all look like me.
People walked up and tried to speak Gaelic to me.
Yeah,
I was like, no.
and everyone's 82 years old. Like they introduced their son to you, who's somehow older than their dad, you know, than their father. But they not only do they have like, you know, sports books at every corner, or whatever, they can go across your pet. The bartender takes bets as well. It's like, oh, I want to bet on this horse race, whatever, you know, that's going on there because everyone was doing it. And he's like, oh, I'll take your bet, you know, whatever. Like, oh, we had a newspaper out, and then like something went out, and like the TV went out before he even finished. I'm like, well, what happened there? He's like, you lost. He just says that. I'm like, all right, you know what? I feel like this is part of the culture. You know, this is
find the kiosk.
Absolutely.
This guy's, I mean, I'd say in general, the gambling vibes in Europe in general.
Yeah, but they're usually charming about But they're usually charming about another bartender. Sorry to cut you off, but we were playing the video poker machine, and he's like, no, lads goes, trust me, that game's fixed. I fixed it to make money, and that just made us angry. Like, whoa,
I'll show you.
I love the rig game. Let me try to beat it. He's like, all right. We just like kept trying to put that it out and beat it. Like,
now that's an honorable bartender. I mean, it probably helps business.
Sure,
right? Like
absolutely.
You can't beat that machine. Fuck you, I can't beat that.
That's how we felt. Right,
lads. There's no way you're gonna beat that. Well, and that's and people may not know this.
Leprechaun.
As far as talking Irish lore. The reason, and this, I don't know why it took me a while to figure it out, but the Guinness Book of World Records was put out by the Guinness Beer Company because they were tired of these arguments at bars of like, who is the tallest man or whatever. 100%. So they said, fine, hey, we're a beer company. We'll put out this book. And so it is Guinness from the Guinness beer, which people might not.
And it makes total sense. It's from people running their mouths at a bar and saying, "I bet I've sneezed more times in a row than anyone in the history of the world." Then you look it up.
No, you haven't.
No, some Pakistani kid did for 3 weeks straight.
I'm not going to verify this, but specifically, the guy's name was Sir Hugh Beaver. I
sounds like a total real name.
In 1951, he was the managing director of Guinness Breweries, and he was on a shooting party in Wexford, Ireland. And they got into a debate over the fastest game bird in Europe. Anyway, that eventually led to the idea that there needs to be a single authoritative source of truth for all of these arguments.
And there's agents they send out, obviously, to do the testings. You said to cut off subjects, you know.
It is remarkable to think that there really isn't anything in any other realm of world called Guinness, right? Like the beer is basically the one notable thing. I'm not familiar with anything else that is noteworthy called Guinness. And yet the Guinness World Record was completely unrelated in my mind for no good reason. I had it affiliated with nothing other than something called the Guinness World Record, but which is kind of an insanely dumb thing to do. Talk about success. So it's so successful, it just blew by your own brand recognition.
Well, I did reach out to the Guinness Book of World Records. To see if they were interested in certifying Ryan drafting fantasy football teams for 24 hours straight.
Interesting.
The answer was no.
I was just going to say they have to cut the lines at a lot of things.
What's
Can you imagine
the longest podcast ever?
The phone,
that's a good question.
The phone lines at that place must be amazing. Of drunks asking questions. Is this a record? Will you come out here?
The inquiries that they must get are insane. Could you imagine this? They must get some insane photos too. This is the biggest boil on someone's ass or something like that. Like they must get some crazy.
The AI is probably helping them out.
I have the
long cock
in the world.
Coincidentally enough, the biggest boil, the world record holder is Alec Guinness, the great actor Alec Guinness, the Guinness World Record, former Obi-Wan Kenobi.
All right, so the longest podcast episode is 153 hours long.
All right.
Oh, smash!
It was a team of Dutch podcasters. What's the longest? 36-hour solo podcast is the longest.
Who was that?
Some British guy, Mike Russell.
I'm sure there was breaks. How long was the solo one?
36.
Oh, the man in the box can take out 36 hours.
CJ,
no problem.
I've done 24 a couple of times.
Yeah.
It's, I'd say
I've
really
witnessed it. You're talented at it.
But once you get over the hump, like when I'm finished, it's not. I probably could power through another.
Absolutely.
Assuming there was stimulation, you know, I think that's the biggest thing you need is
now,
a little
did he have any guests, or was it literally uninterrupted?
I'm going to put this on the list of more questions than answers.
Because I think 36 hours with guests is no problem. Literally, it's just staying up.
I think this is solo, nonstop.
I mean,
yeah,
I'm talking man in the box style, just me screaming into a microphone about NBA tanking rules and the the ABS and shit like that.
That is true, because when I've done it, it's tough. I've probably been joined for about maybe 2/3 of the time with a guest or someone to kind of play with,
and you should, because you're making a show, not trying to break a record. You know, and it's more entertaining that way.
Which, by the way, I did. I have not shared this with you, Sean, but I did have a brief conversation with one Andrew Robb about potentially
running it back,
the return of draft day.
Ooh, that is exciting news. Breaking news, if you will.
Well, that's all it was. It was.
That's a new breaking news.
Yeah, we don't. That's
I replaced it on the soundboard and I've been running with it.
It's actually pretty good. Can I tell you in Cabo at the resort I was at?
Yeah.
Shout out to Nobu.
Spring break.
No
last
free
week.
Plugs, Ryan. Come on.
Sorry. They had a gong on the beach that you could just fucking hit whenever you wanted to. It was pretty awesome.
I mean, spring break, racism is part of their business model down there. When you got frat guys coming down there,
I got to be honest, not a ton of frat guys.
Well, it's spring break, and I see the Steffi Smalls show in the chat. Make sure you subscribe to the Steffi Smalls show. She is doing a Ask Smalls Anything. Exclusively on Spotify. Great reason to subscribe on Spotify.
ASA.
And Ask Smalls Anything. And apparently, I forget how it came up in the questions. I'm trying to remember, but she had won a booty shaking contest in spring break.
I saw there. Yeah, I saw there was some
put out a clip.
Some controversy about the clip.
Putting the ass in ASA there, Steph Smalls. I love it.
Yeah.
And it reminded me. I like
that, CJ. That was very well done.
I won a spring break contest.
Really?
It was.
Were you on spring break?
Wet t-shirt. Wet t-shirt.
So it wasn't
close.
Really
close.
Wow.
It was.
I don't know if I know this story.
Okay, so this is spring. Well, it was basically right after we graduated high school.
Oh,
so I guess you would call it senior week.
Yeah.
So you guys were one of these places that went on a trip after you graduated high school. Oh,
yeah, everyone did most people did senior week down at Ocean City, Maryland was a popular destination. We, me and my buddies, did the all-inclusive at Cancun. I was 17 years old. It was an amazing time because every bar in Cancun was just $20 to get in, all you could drink, which was just amazing.
Senior Frogs,
Senior Frogs, all the different places. The resort was all inclusive.
There was a certain tip currency to get the Mexican bartenders to pay attention.
It's free, but you would have to tip if you would want to get a drink.
Tip culture.
So it was one of those like spring break type things. They called up people out of the audience, and it was me. Nice. It was like 3 couples, 3 guys, 3 girls, and they had these like tents. And it was you swap clothes in the tent, and then the first couple to come out fully.
Okay, I like this. I like this.
And so
good gag.
This is fully
me and the chick I was with. Nowadays. Me and the chick I was with, we won. I didn't bother. I went fully naked in the tent.
Yeah.
Put her dress on.
Nice.
And then it was
real alpha move.
Yeah. I was like, come on, I'm going for it. Like chugging tequila while I'm doing this. And then I'll never forget. I sit down on like the chair, and of course, nothing underneath. Real basic instinct type situation, and you just hear the audience go, "Oh my god!" And so I just go, "Hey, I'm fucking hammered. I'm wearing a dress."
Yeah. Sean Stone.
Welcome to spring break.
I can see you being in the tent as you get naked. She like shrieks like, "Let's like I can see your competitive nature coming through.
I was
yelling. You're going for. for it. Much like I can see Steffi Smalls. I mean, when I saw that clip of her saying she won that booty contest, I had no doubt, because when she locks in, you know, and she wants to beat some bitches, she's going to beat some bitches. Maybe like a black swan situation, you know, trip up the steps, you know. Like I love
some of the guys' questions.
Some elbows.
What was your strategy? Or no, that's what McKee, the producer McKee, said. Right, so, what's your strategy?
I actually think that's a good question. Like, I would want to ask a woman who's about to go into battle, like, what is your finishing move?
Their instincts take over. You did three shots of tequila. Their instincts take over. There's no fucking.
It is true. Sean and I see it in Vegas all the time. There is this move that women do, and it's weird because they do it on their man and then also facing all other men. Like sometimes they'll be hugging their man and they'll expose their asshole and birth canal via. Well, you know the move where it's like
what? You know the move.
You know the canal.
Why don't you demonstrate?
You know the canal opening move. That's not what I was implying with Steffi, by the way. I wasn't implying that.
But it's the same arch of the back.
Right. Okay. Right. Absolutely.
And you see it in Vegas a lot where they will both rub their ass, like they'll put they'll be ass towards their intended target, and then sometimes everyone else is the intended target.
Waver.
Anyway.
And they're good at taking bitches.
I just jotted down for SGP stories spring break.
Yes,
because
got some good
spring break.
I will share a quick one that was not in my college spring break, but I was in Cabo with my current wife, and she had thought that she had reserved us a dinner cruise.
Oh.
Which
it was a booze cruise?
It was not. It was so not. We walk up to the boat. It's like
I went to one of those dinner cruises.
They have like the white plastic chairs and a little taco buffet in the corner.
She was thinking like Titanic coming down the stairs with Leo and you in a tux.
But cut to later.
The ballroom.
Somehow I get, which very unlike me to be selected for any sort of public humiliation. But somehow I get caught up in a physical competition where I'm doing push-ups and shots of tequila. At which, I mean, it turned out to be fine. Like it gave me a very strong excuse to be fucking hammered.
There's always whistles. There's always whistles in these competitions in Mexico.
And I was going against this bitch ass like European dude. So I was just like, I'm not losing to you. So I ended up winning, but I was way too drunk. And when you get really drunk on a boat, it's a. Did
that impress your lady when you won the push-up contest? She's still upset about not having to misbooking.
If you listen to the episode where we talked about the auction and the Santa Anita VIP, where she took over the bidding. I'm sure me winning a push-up contest on some level was impressive to her.
Sure, she's absolutely.
That's the chicks dig winners.
Well, specifically, my wife is into that kind of stuff.
Alpha strength and all that. Of course, you're the man.
Some strength.
Strange areas of it, but yes. Anyway, future SGP stories episode. Me and Sean talking about. I'll tell you about the time that my buddy Beldo spent $100 in beads in Panama City, lost them in 10 minutes.
Well, money well spent. All right. Hey, speaking of spring, we got the spring NFL draft. We got some NFL draft props.
That was well done.
Yeah.
Some early markets. Again, this is about building a portfolio. We're giving out investment strategies here. Kramer, why don't you kick things off? What is one NFL draft prop you like?
All right. So, I think there's two that are quite interesting right now because they are related to a number of other props and they're completely variable for different reasons. And that's where's Love going to get drafted and where is Simpson going to get drafted?
Yeah.
Simpson is interesting because there is truly a chance he could go in the top 10.
Yep.
Or outside of the first round. His number is 24.5 right now, I believe. Something like that. We see the 1.5 quarterbacks is juiced pretty heavily at -270.
Yeah.
And so let's start with Ty Simpson because I mean, do you think I've gotten back. So now that college basketball is basically over, not really, but we're close to the finish line. A lot more draft content starting to get consumed. Does it not seem like people don't know with Ty Simpson, because there's some conventional wisdom that believes that he has all the tools, quote unquote, and then there's a bunch of red flags as to why you can't take him,
right?
Which is why his floor is quite low. But I get the sense that, probably not going to go ahead of Mendoza. Although I do think there's the greater than zero people that think Mendoza isn't the best quarterback in this draft.
Kramer does, for all transparency, Kramer is represented by CAA. So if you're wondering, and Austin in the chat also represented by CAA. So if you hear Ryan, there's been a lot of talk about Ryan. Are we sure Simpson's there? Are you sure Mendoza's the number one pick overall? Just for transparency's sake, you are also represented by CAA. Yeah. So just
my opinion would be, I don't think Simpson's good at all. I'm in the camp of I would look into those red flags, realize he hasn't started a lot of games, be very wary of the system he came out of in DeBauer down there in Alabama, and frankly, like, what did he show you in college that makes you think this is a dude? We've seen much more from guys who turned out to be much less in the NFL, and so that makes me like this market, because now we're talking about a guy who's maybe not a first round pick.
Yep.
Or if he is a first round pick, is it a team coming back in to get him? Maybe they see him as a quarterback of the future. We know there were the reports of somehow Joe Shane out dueling the Rams and drafting ahead of them to get Jackson Dart, a quarterback that Sean McVay fancied. I know that in general, the Rams are kind of a popular choice now the last couple of years to be, they're going to get the quarterback of the future this year. Sean and I were talking about this before the show. It does seem like they wouldn't waste early draft equity on an asset like that. They're trying to win the fucking Super Bowl.
And going back to Ty Simpson, the biggest red flag for me is that he started 15 games. The guys that we've seen.
Who else do we have? Do we have a positive example
of someone who started
Mark Sanchez
amount of games?
Is Mark Sanchez? Well, he brought a team to the conference.
He also stabbed a trucker.
We're not talking about Ty Simpson's post playing career.
Right. I did think he was a very good
doing
announcer.
wind sprints in a fucking alleyway.
I did go, oh, Mark Sanchez doing the game.
Do you think he was not sprinting in the alleyway and maybe he was doing something else?
No, I think he was 100% sprinting in the alleyway. If you're a guy who's drank a lot and done a bunch of cocaine, you're roaming around, challenging people to sprints and different feats of strength. There's definitely something you would do.
The toxicology report was deep on that one.
Yeah, it's a 2-page. But that to me, like his play, the injury stuff, whatever. The fact that the lack of like amazing production, just start with only 15 games started.
All right, so then
it's a huge red flag.
Which is like your Mitch Trubisky's, your Anthony Richardson.
Anthony Richardson. At least you could talk me into the idea of like crazy physical traits.
So the pushback would be, if we're right and he's not getting taken in the early first round, like a lot of the guys you just mentioned, maybe there is an opportunity for him to come into a situation, not start right away.
Well, and so again, this is where it's easy to get lost in the NFL draft, because what teams should do and what they do actually do is very much different. You're like, oh, you shouldn't draft this guy. You don't need that right now, but you got to factor in like, hey, where are these teams in their development? Are these teams desperate for a quarterback? I'll start with the Ty Simpson destination, because I feel like this checks a lot of the boxes. I think him to the Steelers at 8-1 or 9-1, depending on the blue or the green book. That to me is a very fun play, because I think they are going to run it back with Rodgers here for one more year, and we've seen the quarterback in waiting before with this head coach and Aaron Rodgers. Them bringing in Ty Simpson does make a ton of sense. Now,
I think they like.
The problem is they do like Will Howard.
I think they legitimately like Will Howard.
Aaron Rodgers likes Will Howard, and also Aaron Rodgers is a liar.
Yeah,
but
I think
you're
McCarthy
probably right. I'm sure McCarthy does.
Real quick, because we can rattle through some of these teams.
Yeah.
Because I think Ty Simpson is the kind of guy that you do. it's very wide open who's going to take this guy. So you look at the long shot. I was actually kind of surprised the Chiefs 150-1, Bears 150-1. Obviously, they're not taking a quarterback. Giants, Chargers, Commanders, Patriots, Bills 100-1. None of those teams are taking this quarterback. Titans move them to the side 80-1. Saints, I think they believe that Tyler Shuck is probably better than Ty Simpson. So they're not doing it. Our Prince, Trevor Lawrence, Jags 70-1. They're not doing it. Seahawks.
I mean,
they got Milroe, and I think
yeah,
they started messing around with him a little bit.
That's true. Any of these long shots that you're talking about with teams that don't need a quarterback, or even more in the future, like these are only live if he falls pretty far. Like third round almost.
Well, and that's
which I think there's a chance too. I took
definitely is over.
I took under total quarterbacks in the first round, 1.5 plus 200.
Ooh,
just because I think. First of all, you have to everyone at least talks about next year's draft. The 27 draft is the motherload draft where everyone's setting up for, especially quarterback wise. There's like 15 quarterbacks that people want to take. So I don't think people are going to waste capital on Ty Simpson.
I think we saw this a little bit last year where once they start falling,
right, they can fall.
It's
far.
like, well, if they're not going to pick him in the second round,
right,
they're not going to pick him in the third round. Like you end up with a Shador situation where it ends up being a fourth or fifth rounder. Next thing you know,
so that's where
which creates more variance, and that's why these teams are all interesting. But obviously not Raiders. Well,
Raiders would be hilarious if they took them both. If you took them both, RG3 Cousins situation,
why not? We all can cite that.
That would be hilarious.
Packers at 70-1.
Yeah.
There's no pause there, right? There's no pause there.
They
Sean?
lost their backup.
There's no pause there. Malik Willis is gone. If he falls for a while, could that be the kind of selection at 70-1?
Yeah, definitely. And the Packers, again, organizationally, they're fine sitting a guy for a long time. So yeah, Packers at 71. Sure. I'll take a small.
Let's jot that down, because that if we're playing the tail case, as they say, and he's fallen much further than we expect.
Right. And the Eagles have shown that. Look at what they've done, right? You don't necessarily need to pay a ton of money for a backup quarterback. Why not just draft a guy like Ty Simpson, and there's no rush to play him right away. You save some money. There's
always value in taking quarterbacks. That's why they're the only position, as they say, that teams look ahead at. Because you're always trying to add one. Why not? You can always flip them for something because they do become valuable. Now the reason I said I don't like him in the first round, Ty, because not just a game starting, he's small. There's a reason why he was injured.
Yeah,
like he's like 6 foot. Almost, and like his dad is a coach, they like saying, and I'm not saying his skill level, whatever, isn't close to Mendoza. That was the big argument there between the 1-2. I know the Dan Orlovsky story was huge because of it. It's not because I don't think because they share the same agency. I doubt CAA told him to say that, but I guarantee you ESPN told him to say that because it's what they do. They create their story, then they talk about their story on other shows. Yeah, right.
Yeah, everyone's talking.
It was a full day of content created by ESPN, and they probably called Orlovsky the night before, like, sorry, buddy, you're gonna have to take jump on a grenade on this one. People are going to call you a moron. Like they're going to threaten your family probably. Because it wasn't even to take that. It wasn't even an analytic. Like there is an argument to be made. Like whatever the skill level if you want to do that, but there's no room for that. ESPN.
His reasoning was insane.
It was very rage baiting. Of like he's never won a big game. Never won a big game. He just went undefeated. What are you talking about? He just won the championship.
All his games are big.
The way that you say it is you just say like the quarterback class is not very impressive, and the fact that he's a quarterback is going to put, and the overall draft class is weaker, and so people are having a hard time.
Yes,
like the idea that there is a quarterback one because the Raiders have the first pick, and then no quarterback is taken until the end of the first round.
Put me out for Raiders. I love the RG3 Cousins angle.
Oh wow!
Fuck the Packers. Like give me Raiders. How hilarious would that be if they got them both?
That would be perfect.
The Packers are also a franchise that has, like you said, Jordan Love.
Packers make sense.
And we blew.
Packers make sense. Raiders is more fun.
We blew by the Giants. Is there any chance?
No, stop.
Not completely sold on Jackson Dart.
You're not, Sean. Don't let the audience know you're not locked in watching Harbaugh getting interviewed at the owners' meetings, because my God, is this guy fully rock hard over? And by the way, the PMT guys asked him about him sounding like Joe Biden. He did not like that. He did not like that at all.
He's probably not a Biden guy.
He's not a Biden guy.
He's not a Biden guy. But you make a good point about Dart, because that was the Giants traded up for it to whatever they can make that move.
Great deal, by the way.
Sure, absolutely, 100%. It was. But I don't think Ty's the kind of guy that people are going to trade up for at the end of the first round. If he doesn't go and some of those bad teams that wears, I don't see someone coming up like, oh, we better grab him now. So that's why I love the under 1.5 quarterbacks.
It's a little.
I think they realize they might not have to. If someone does like him, I think they realize they're going to be able to read the room.
He's not a guy people fall in love with, I don't think.
I think the NFL
Dart is.
I think the NFL respects the hell out of I think most people now respect needing starts.
Yeah.
And so I think that is enough of a red flag for enough teams to make it really dicey. So yeah, Niners and Ravens at 60-1. Nothing there, right?
No, the Ravens got Huntley. Niners have Mac.
Bengals 60-1. No.
I mean, who knows? The Bengals might trade Burrow for all we know. They're such idiots.
Eagles 50-1. Texans 50-1.
Eagles is interesting because they do value quarterbacks.
Yeah,
but
where would he have to slide?
But he would have
but they already traded for Andy Dalton.
Oh, you're right.
So if
they're done.
Yeah. They're not drafting a quarterback this year,
and they need to draft because they know the Piper's coming here. Well, obviously with the players leaving, and
I forgot Bengals signed Flacco, so I think they're good.
How about Flacco going off? Teams turning him down, so they're going to pay. He's furious, and then no one thought of him as a QB1. I love pissed off Flacco.
I love the
this
attitude.
Is great.
Broncos 45-1, Falcons 40-1, Cowboys 40-1. I mean, are we sure the Falcons aren't drafting a quarterback?
No, they got their hands full.
He's right-handed. Doesn't fit the system.
Yeah.
You're right. So you think Penix? They're going to go into the season with Tua and Penix?
I don't like any of these teams, to be honest with you.
All right. Lions 30-1. I mean,
now we're getting to the squeaky.
Well, they got Teddy
tier.
Bridgewater. He's fairly reliable.
It's the squeaky
Colts,
tier.
28-1.
The squeak tier.
Colts, but we saw enough out of Riley Leonard, and they're
did we?
Yeah, I did. And they paid Danny Dimes.
I did is great. I saw enough. I don't know if they saw enough.
Vikings 16-1.
Vikings is definitely a
that
candidate.
would be spicy.
Vikings
that would
definitely
be spicy.
100% Vikings are a candidate here.
100% a go. I mean, they got Kyler Murray, JJ McCarthy. No. Wentz is technically there.
16-1's crazy. Dolphins 15-1.
Oh my!
Aren't they waiting?
I don't know who's
they have like 150 million in dead cap. The Dolphins are waiting a year.
They are, and they can get out.
No, they traded for or they paid Malik Willis.
They did pay Malik Willis, but that's a contract. It was a pretty favorable contract that they can get out of too after like a couple of years.
That wasn't.
So they can see what they got. Although disgrace to our rookie of the year Quinn Ewers ticket though here. They have. To
I think that
him.
they paid the Malik Willis the minimum to make it look like they're trying to win football games while having 50% of their salary cap dead.
Yeah.
Because they cannot. This is a dead year, so to get someone to go to Miami as the starter, nice guy. We all remember him opening his suitcase and giving stuff to that homeless guy during the draft week. Great guy. So maybe he did the same here.
They probably didn't.
Also reunited with a coach he knew. Yeah. Classic hometown discount.
Also, do not tag Jalen Waddle in any Instagram posts. He is not going to be returning. We will tell you that after you sign.
Yeah, I know exactly. Like it's a really bad situation.
What a jerk move! What a jerk move by Miami.
Panthers 15-1.
Ding ding ding.
Yeah,
I think this one makes a ton of sense. They didn't sign. They're holding off on giving the Bryce Young a huge deal. Why not take a shot here?
Do you think so? If you were a team that had that situation where you're like, you have this quarterback, you're not locking him up. It's not like an auto re-sign.
Yeah, give him a little competition.
Are you taking a little bit of a shot here? You'd rather take a shot with a rookie than a veteran here.
I do, and they have Kenny Pickett technically as the backup, but I think Panthers are live. Honestly,
I like the Panthers as well. I mean, what is this Bryce's last year? on his contract.
So the
before they
Panthers
have to extend him,
or they did the 5th year extension or whatever.
They did extend him,
but not the full.
right?
Like, they didn't give him a new.
He didn't
contract.
get the actual contract, the one that matters.
Panthers have 19 and then 51.
Yeah,
in 51. This scenario, he's
51?
sliding. He's sliding to 51.
Yep.
Right?
I think he's live.
Yep, absolutely.
I would love a better price here. I see the angle. I'm not in on that one though. Bucks 14-1.
I don't like that.
They're just so close to a win now team.
Yeah.
I mean, they just paid Baker a ton of money.
Steelers 8-1.
Steelers.
The more we think about it,
I really don't like the Steelers.
The Will Howard. I kind of forgot about how much they like Will Howard.
I believe they like Will Howard.
I do too. But at the same time, I think they're ready to ride with Rodgers this year. Won last year with Will Howard as backup, and then get someone in 27. All these teams, even some of these favorites, I don't see them making a move for Ty Simpson when the 27 draft is so loaded.
Yeah, that's the part that makes it tricky. You might as well just wait. Browns plus 650, Rams plus 425, Jets plus 145, and Cardinals plus 125.
I mean, the Browns have a Pro Bowl starting quarterback. Why would they even think about it?
I think
and Shedeur Sanders.
Did you hear Barrett
and Deshaun Watson?
Well, I was just gonna say, did you hear what my favorite general manager Andrew Barry said today? He said, "We swung and missed with Deshaun Watson, but if he starts this year, it'll turn into a grand slam or a whole
wow." I mean, my God.
I mean, you might have a drag bunt if you get some starts out of him this year, but a grand slam, go to hell. I mean, my God, is this organization terrible? Did you see Kuiper also pound the desk again when they suggested they got Shedeur Sanders? Why would okay, relax. He is a Pro Bowler. We get it.
I don't think the Browns they don't need more problems.
They don't need more chaos like that. No.
And then the Rams are so close to being all in. Like, why would they be?
They are all in, right?
Why would they be drafting a quarterback of the future?
Because we know they tried to last year.
Yeah,
they tried to trade up and draft Jackson Dart, and so.
They need one, and they thought that was more when Stafford smiling. He knows he's going to be. They tried to trade him to the Raiders. They wanted Stafford out of here. These hypocrite Rams. I hate these Rams so much. and they're going to be locked and loaded. They need a guy, but like I said, I can see McVay doing it, but this is way too short of a price.
Yeah,
well,
not on the price.
And the only other. So I do think. I understand why the Cardinals and the Jets make the most sense.
Cardinals make sense, sure.
Well, the Cardinals could get him in the second round.
Yeah,
and that's why easy. That's pretty easy to swallow. Like the idea that you've drafted someone in the top 5, and
you have Brissett. He's going to be your starter. Yeah,
Gardner Minshew making more money than Brissett somehow.
Well, that's crazy. Well, that's the other thing. They brought that scenario makes me think they're not going to draft a quarterback.
Yeah,
the Jets are really the team.
That's what I mean. Right,
more set up but they have Geno, and it's like.
Well, Jets definitely want the quarterback in 2027.
MVP front runner Geno Smith, said Aaron Glenn the other day.
So
Arch Manning declining the Jets draft. This selection.
Can I get an undrafted?
You know that bitch ass Manning family's going to pull something like that. They are going to steer his.
What's his over under 24.5?
I mean, he doesn't have to come out.
I want to ladder.
Yeah,
I want to ladder some of these ties.
He can stay in college, make $10 million or whatever he makes in NIL. That's how they steer it. They don't have to do anything. They can just say, "Oh, we're not going to come out."
Well, you think the Jets are going to be good the following year?
That was the favorite.
The Jets can play that waiting game too. Yep. They've sucked for a long time.
We can do this all day long, Arch. We're not going anywhere.
In fairness, he wouldn't be the first player to basically say he doesn't want to play for the Jets.
Right.
Jets are in a tough spot right
now.
All
right. So officially Kramer just on the Packers.
Yeah, I think that Packers
at 70-1. Yeah.
And so now that we've gotten all the way back to the end, it does make me wonder, is there a team that has a quarterback that if he slides, like we're essentially saying he could slide. We're not only saying he could slide into the second round, we're saying he could slide past the second.
Makes me definitely like his overdraft position.
Yeah, let me confirm that price.
I love his over. I think a better way to play that over is the falling out of the second round, like plus 200 under quarterbacks 1.5.
Oh, all right. So here are your options. Ty Simpson, the draft position is 24.5, overs minus 220.
Okay.
So that's not tremendous.
No, but like CJ is saying, take the under quarterbacks drafted in the first round.
Yeah.
under 1.5 is plus 200.
Oh,
with the idea that hey, if Ty Simpson falls into the second round,
I don't see someone trading up for him at 28 or something like that, or any of those good teams down there who don't need a quarterback taking him. He's either going to be gone by your 25 range, or
I think
not.
CJ. Yeah, you're right. This is the way to play it in jet. Now, obviously, it brings all the other guys into the equation.
Yes,
you have the athletic kid out of Arkansas. I mean, there's some other quarterbacks that Drew Aller's starting to show people he can throw the ball 60 yards. Again.
I mean, we laugh, but there was a report. Literally, was this the guy out of LSU, Newsom or whatever his name is, the LSU quarterback?
Oh,
Nussmeier. I can never pronounce his name right, but I did see a report that him and Ty Simpson are now closer together than 2-3. Neither one of them are. If Nussmeier is certainly not a first round pick, but now they're saying he's like getting that close to Ty Simpson. I think it's more Ty Simpson dropping back to him.
I feel like this happens every year where there's the guys that the NFL knows about that no one else knows about.
Yeah.
And slowly, it's like, I mean, Dart was kind of that last year where it was like didn't seem to surprise too many people that were in the know, but at the end of the day, he was not locked in as a first round.
See something. Nussmeier seemed more of the Quinn Ewers, Howard type,
But even like Carson, you have a wide range on some of these guys that could be 5th rounders, and they could be 2nd rounders. So if the second quarterback is going now, again, you have a couple guys who bring some athletic tools, so you have to be a little worried about that. Because
hey, reminder: if you want to get in on the NFL draft action, you can over on Kalshi. That's right, you can trade a bunch of these different markets over on Kalshi, and Kalshi available in a ton of states. New traders get $10 in their account when you use our code SGPN. T's and C's do apply, but yeah, they have a bunch of these number 1 overall pick, number 2 overall pick, bunch of markets for the NFL draft. Let's see, Kramer. I know you're not totally sold on Mendoza. You could take the no on Fernando Mendoza going number 1 overall. That's available on Kalshi. Get in.
I'll put my money where my mouth is. I'll pick up some of that.
You should
get some of that liquidity.
Yeah.
Kalshi available in a ton of states. New traders get $10 in the account when you use the code SGPN. And of course, we're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Head over to Underdog Fantasy, use our promo code SGPN, win up to 5,000 extra money. Some of the season-long markets for the NFL are already available, including higher lower for some quarterbacks. CJ Jackson Dart, higher lower passing yards set at 31-24.5. You going higher or lower?
Passing yards. It says.
Yes,
passing yards. 31-24.
Pretty high number.
It's a high number. Well, he's always concussion risk.
Yeah, you
always
have to play a lot of the games to get there.
He likes to run the ball. He's got the new system there. Harbaugh, though, Harbaugh probably less likely to open up that blue tent, if you will. He might put a few paper clips on that.
Harbaugh loves this guy.
I'm sure he does. 31-24 is a pretty low number, but he is an injury risk for sure. I'll go higher. I like that. I like that. He's gonna have a lot.
I'll go lower. Give me lower.
Malik Neighbors. All right, go with the
31-24.5. Well, Malik Neighbors, he's not going to be ready for opening day, or is he? Kramer, Malik Neighbors, will he be on the opening day roster?
Like I've been saying consistently on this program, I think that they are going to give him the same luxury that Andrew Thomas was afforded. Andrew Thomas, we thought might be ready, was not ready. Played week 3. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how
Calvin Austin will be ready though, right?
Calvin Austin will be ready.
Sure.
Isaiah Likely will be ready.
Underdog Fantasy promo code SGPN. Play $5, get $50. Underdog Fantasy promo code SGPN. Jeremiyah Love. Now this is an interesting market.
Well, and real quick, Malik Willis has a higher 20.5 passing touchdowns over on Underdog.
I just hate that Dolphin roster so much. And I love Malik Willis, and I'm rooting for Malik Willis. I want him to do well, but that roster is going to be so bad.
Jalen Hurts 21.5
passing touchdowns.
20.5.
Like smash it.
Yeah.
Over.
Make them both over.
Completely disagree. Malik Willis is not throwing for 21.
No, he's not.
Passing touchdowns.
He might run for 20.
I might have. Yeah, that might be a smash on the lower. All right, Jeremiyah Love, another interesting market because Much like, and I think we should write down in the Ty Simpson box that we're taking under that plus 200. I need to get down on that as soon as the show's over. Under 1.5 quarterbacks.
Yep.
All right. So Love, now he's both being talked about as a instant offense, weapon, not just a running back, a weapon, positional value, weapon.
He can catch.
But he's not on the same level as Bijan or Saquon or Jahmyr Gibbs. I
bet they have him on the Gibbs level.
I'm telling you what the consensus.
Sure.
This feels.
100%.
I'm giving you like a general consensus.
But he is on the Ashton Genty level. I'd say he's better than Genty. As a prospect.
Perhaps. I guess even that I would say probably not. But okay. So he could go.
Careful bad mouthing your future running back, Ryan.
Well, I'm not bad mouthing. I'm laying out the lay of the land.
Right. But you're right. He's certainly no Bijan, no Saquon.
At least as a prospect.
That's what I mean. As a prospect.
And so
they all went.
But now because the draft is thin and there's not a lot of obvious talent, it begs the question: should you just take the best player? So it seems like conventional wisdom is that he is going to go fourth.
Yeah.
Now I know that there are people who have said that he could go higher than fourth. It does not seem like the Cardinals would draft him, so it would have to be a trade up.
Which I
someone
could see.
who wants to get him ahead of the Titans because the Titans want him. The Titans wanting him doesn't make a ton of sense to me, but the markets tell me that he's the chalk to go.
Yes,
fourth.
And which, by the way, it is a classic tout move.
Chalk to go to the Titans.
And it is a classic tout move, right? He's chalk to go to Titans. He's even money to go to Titans, according to DraftKings.
Yes.
But you can also do his over under prop under 4.5 is plus 110. Classic tout move. If you like, him to go to 4, a better way is to go that way. That's if you like it. I'm not saying I like it.
So you're saying
under
that if you like the chalky scenario where he goes to the Titans, or maybe someone even trades up,
or someone else trades up under 4.5 is a much better play than the Titans take him at 4 at even money. Why would you do that when you have other ways to win this at plus 110?
There is also a tremendous amount of smoke that I will asterisk and say that ever since the Giants fired Kevin Abrams, they have not. The media has not had a clue of what the fuck was going on.
Right.
And so I do find that some of these reports about the Giants being really interested in Jeremiyah Love, intriguing to say the least.
A lot of officials.
I think Giants.
And so at 5, that's another spot where could this be? Is that like with in the new world with Harbaugh and no one knowing shit? Is the information people know just smoke because they are trying to trade down? They are trying to do something that's more Harbaugh, like draft someone in the trenches, draft an offensive lineman. There is a pretty good guard out of Penn State that's going to be around in the teens.
The Giants are going to want to pound the rock. I think they realize.
That is true.
I think they realize Cam Scadaboo's shelf life as a NFL player is pretty short.
This is a ridiculous. This is a tough take for you.
You think he's going to play for a bunch of years?
Tough take.
Does he get a second contract?
You're
from
starting the overlap immediately. That doesn't make sense.
What do you mean?
If you're treating running backs like battering rams, you don't want to start the timeline on the same timeline that Cam Scadaboo was already on. You're 1 year offset in terms of their rookie deals. That wouldn't make sense.
I do know the ownership group, Steve Tisch included, huge fan of the running back position. I mean, we saw the clip of the owners saying if Barkley goes to the Eagles, that's going to keep me up at night. They're looking for a Saquon Barkley replacement.
Yeah.
They tried to get Kenneth Walker, they couldn't. I think they're gonna. No. I think they'll look to get Jeremiyah Love here.
I just feel bad. He's outing himself for not being someone locked in.
At 4-1, you don't think the Giants have any shot of taking him, Ryan?
No.
Okay.
Wow. I think if you talk to anyone who follows the team, it seems very clear that the people that usually have information about what's going on don't, and these vague stories going around like scouts are saying, or there is belief amongst executives in the NFL that I don't see anything that the Ravens have done in roster building over the time that John Harbaugh was there that makes me think they would draft a running back 5th.
Really? Well, that yes, but wanting him, but not having enough running backs is something that he does.
Oh, I think but they also.
So I can see him getting some day 2 running backs, but him adding a running back just because the fact that they have Scadaboo wouldn't be a reason why they wouldn't take Love.
No,
him being a number 5 pick, sure.
They have, but I also think when they re-signed Singletary, and they have 3 running backs they brought in Ricard. I really think it's more likely that the stories and the information about the Giants and the Giants loving Love is smoke to try to get someone to trade up. Because I think if you look at the draft, how many guys are guys that someone actually would trade up for? To me, Love is on a very short list.
Yeah,
because it's not the quarterbacks.
No, people would trade for him, but who would do that? But how far back would they want to go to see? That's the value. The value there. See, I see if a trade is happening, I think it's happening more at 3.
Because maybe you're right.
Because Arizona needs a tackle, but who's the top guy from Miami? Maglia. I don't think people are saying he's.
I can't help you with the pronunciation of that one.
He's not really a number 3 overall pick, although I can see them wanting to drop back.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But then we get into this all the time where everyone says they want to trade down, and then no one wants to trade up.
Right.
Completely agree.
Well, now there's one team that I think would trade up, who would want to make a splash, who would want a Jeremiyah Love.
Cowboys,
the Dallas Cowboys, who have done nothing in this offseason after promising. That's what Jerry Jones does.
That's more with the car. Yeah, you're right.
And if he's pushing to a corner,
I'll take Cowboys at 22
to 1. Give me Dallas Cowboys there. And I don't think it's the Titans. And I do like, whatever it's for, only because I can see Dable pounding the desk, wanting Jeremiyah Love for it. And say, hey, why don't you shut the hell up? You got fired for a reason. Mike Borgonzi, the general manager, he doesn't play that game. He knows what happens when you drop a running back in the top 10. In the last 10 years, 15 years, I'm going to go back. None of these running backs that got drafted in the top 10, and by the way, won a Super Bowl with their team. It's always with someone else because of the way the contracts are set up. When the rookie deal came in, it screwed the running back over, and they didn't change it for his position. Like I think Bijan Robinson,
a discount.
Yeah, like Bijan Robinson makes less money today than Reggie Bush did, like his first year.
Yeah, but he also was probably a top 5 or a top 10 paid running back.
2025. Ashton Genty, the 6th pick. Bijan was the 8th pick. Saquon number 2. Leonard Fournette in 2017. Christian McCaffrey, Ezekiel Elliott 2016. Todd Gurley, Trent Richardson, CJ Spiller. Don't forget was pick number 9 overall. That's it. Those are nine running backs in the last 15 years that were taken in the top 10. None of them, of course, succeeded.
The Cowboys just makes so much sense. This is how Jerry. Everyone's talking about it.
Yep.
You don't get to be the owner of the Dallas Cowboys by not making decisive moves.
And he's the one who took Zeke, number 4 overall.
You would love this.
All right, put me down for the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So they have 12 and 20. Of course,
if he's there at 12, they're going to take him.
Sure.
100%. 100%. And if he falls to 12,
do you think there's a trade up?
And it would be a good pick at 12.
Yeah, it's not a horrible pick for them. Kramer, what? So you have Cowboys, but what else? Where else do you think he goes?
Well, I do think
definitely not Giants.
I would be pretty surprised, and I think, and honestly, I think if you spent any amount of time actually, like I understand this is great for the show, it's a great fit, but if you spent any time actually attempting to research,
why would I do that?
Well, you would find it very difficult to find any actual anything about the linkage other than
the owner, the guy calling all the shots.
What about the owner?
He was there when they drafted Saquon, correct?
He's been there for them drafting a lot of players.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with anything?
He's signed off previously on the franchise drafting.
Oh, so it's possible. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I definitely think it's possible.
I'm saying you asked me if they're going. I said I'd be surprised, and I would be surprised if you could find any sort of concrete, like John Harbaugh or anyone with the Giants is talking about this. I think smoke is being leaked out. I think certain people are eating it up.
Do you think the Jeremiyah Love smoke get people off the Heat revolving, centered around Epstein Island and the Giants organization being involved in Epstein Island?
I mean, you should ask the commissioner those questions. He's the one dodging. I mean,
but he's not the one leaking the Jeremiyah Love stuff. That's the Giants.
I don't know who's leaking it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where it's getting generated, but it does seem like a
lot of questions.
They've not had any information correct. There's been a lot of. I just don't think there's any information leaking out of the building anymore.
I don't know this, but I imagine Harbaugh has at least 4 or 5 sons, right?
Sounds about right.
They have to be. Where how come I've never seen them in front of a camera? They have to be.
There's no sons, not on the staff.
But they're under works trench coat doing the deal, leaking these files.
Maybe
I want to see all these Harbaugh boys. And yes, I super fan that the Cowboys just paid Javonte is why he has hesitation with Dallas.
That's true.
They did just pay Javonte, correct, and good deal for Javonte. But obviously in today's football, you need 2 running backs, and like like you said, if he falls at 12, Dallas will not pass him by at 12.
No, you
need 2 running backs. Even with Jahmyr Gibbs, you still need another great running back. There's not one team that has like that bell cow like situation like that. It would be smart to pay that, and they didn't pay a lot for Javonte. They gave him a nice deal for him. But love that there's no. I don't see Javonte being a reason why they wouldn't go for Jeremiyah Love. Because first of all, Javonte is no Jeremiyah.
So Kramer, just the Cowboys for you. Any other leads on where you think Jeremiyah Love goes?
Well, what I was going to say is I think the Commanders being chalk is correct.
Yes, I like the Commanders too, but I'm not paying 140 for him.
Yeah, I don't really like that, but I do think there's got to be a team down the board that has a potential to take him here because you think about, I mean, Texans have traded up before and mortgaged a lot because they thought they were grasping to something. The Chargers, obviously, you have another. A Harbaugh who loves. I mean, the number one reason that Giants could take Jeremiyah Love would be that I do think Jeremiyah Love is a guy who loves football, and I think if Harbaugh and Love got in the same room together, there could have been just a quick falling in love over football together.
Yeah,
but I mean. Other than that, it's like, could the Seahawks take him? The Seahawks are 60-1. They just lost Kenneth Walker. They won the Super Bowl, so they're the exact kind of team that you would say, you know what, it does make sense to bolt this right into your roster. Charbonnet is banged up, right? He's coming off the ACL. They're actually, you know what? Put me down for the Seahawks. They make a lot more sense.
Do they have the capital to get up there to get into the top 10? I mean, they would obviously have to make a move to do it.
Sense.
Of course, they would like to add them to the roster, but I mean,
I just don't know if they got enough juice.
Well, but all right. So if there's only a couple, we're kind of framing it up where there's not a ton of teams that we think could potentially take him.
Everyone likes him.
And so if another thing, if he starts falling, like could he fall to 15?
No,
you don't think so?
No.
Where do you think the bait? Where do you think he could?
I don't think he goes past the Cowboys at 12. And honestly, I think if he's there at 5, the Giants probably take him or trade with someone that would take him. If he falls to 15, I would be shocked. I mean, his over under is 4.5. Usually, if the
Rams won't let him go past 13.
Usually, if your over under is that high,
yeah,
you're not going to be off by like 10 spots.
But
I'm with you. I think there is probably not. I think there. That the 4.5 tells me that there is someone that's willing to trade up.
He's so interesting because there's a lot of heat. People call him the best player in the draft, period. But also it's the top 10 running back situation. And so I can see him falling in certain situations. He's either, and like, you don't know, like you said, if it's either people trying to create the buzz or people will trade up. So there is smoke, even though it'll never happen. So he's either going top under 4.5, or I can see him dropping down to the teens just because of the business model of taking a running back this high, because you don't save money. The Saquon, whatever, like teams have proven you could just sign a free agent running back for maybe, $8 million more than you would have to pay in a rookie contract anyway. And like getting established guys. So, and like, you're not saving any money by like you are on a quarterback by playing their rookie contract.
Yeah, exactly. And so 3, 4, 5, 7, I don't know. I mean, I certainly think I'm kind of with Sean. It does seem it seems like there's not a lot of teams that are going to want to draft him, but also it does seem like it would be hard for him to slip too far.
Like the Saints at 40-1 seems like a good number to me. Now I know they just signed a chain now.
A-Chain.
It's Trevor A-Chan.
Is his brother a Chan as well?
I think so,
He's
yeah.
never, I haven't heard from him.
Did he change both their last names?
Yeah.
Hey, reminder, we're brought to you by Rhythm. The Rhythm is calling up, betcha, picks, props, sides, totals. Rhythm has it all. They got the parlay optimizer. Very easy to build your own model or just tail rhythms. They've been crushing it in college basketball. And of course, NBA props. No one does it better. MLB projections are live. And golf as well. So many ways to win over on Rhythm. And of course, if you want to go premium with Rhythm, use our promo code SGPN25, 25% off premium, but download it, play around with it. I think you're going to enjoy it. RITHMM. The Rhythm is going to bet you. RITHMM. We're also brought to you by Novig. Who loves Vig? Just the guys in the Chicago outfit, mafioso types like Kramer. They love Vig. That's how they feed their families. But Novig taking bread right off their plates. Because Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. You get the best prices, reduced juice. Love me some Novig. Available in a bunch of states. If it's available in your state, you're not using Novig, you're leaving money on the table. Download Novig, Novig. Very easy to spell. Promo code SGPN. Download it. If Novig's available in your state, what are you waiting for? Novig, promo code SGPN. And of course, March Madness alive and well. Get you a Bottom Line Bombs t-shirt, man in the box. Bet Detective, first half funders, let it ride. So much good stuff. And shout out to Propcast. They just got some gear in there. The Steffi Smalls hats. There is a bunch of great stuff. All available in the merch store. Use that promo code March. Only a couple days left. 15% off everything. Promo code March in the merch store.
We need a Steffi Smalls booty shaking champ. I don't know if she needs a belt.
A belt?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah,
Someone asked, "Is there a trophy?"
Yeah, a lady belt. I'm sure she won a free shot for sure. I bet they gave her a prize for sure.
Oh yeah,
100%. Put me down for the Saints. I've talked myself into
see
that. I mean, just if he drops to 8, why wouldn't they grab him there?
Would the Chiefs draft him?
Kellen Moore makes a ton of sense.
I know. Everyone counted the Chiefs and Saints out. That's why their numbers went like that when they signed Walker and Chain. But why? If they get that low,
I'm with you, CJ. Saints, little sprinkle on that.
But if you like the Saints, don't you like the Chiefs?
Right, 100%. They definitely need.
Or the Chiefs definitely go on offensive line.
They need a tackle.
Yeah. So for me, Giants. That's the obvious one. Cowboys and Saints. Kramer, Seahawks and Cowboys. CJ, Saints and Cowboys. Do we want to do one more, Kramer?
Sure.
All right.
I'm in. But by the way, the overall over under for running backs in the first round is astoundingly 1.5, with under being -1,000.
Yes.
Really?
It doesn't seem like there's another guy that can squeak.
Well, it's funny. Yeah, the only guy is what's his name?
Calhoun, is it? Is he the one?
Calhoun, Washington, Mike Washington, is that his name? Or
I haven't looked too deep at the.
I know Love's backup Price might be the RB2, which is hilarious.
Always funny when
Walker, I think his name is. I forget the guy's name. I think he just went to Washington, but
so we're on the under at -1,000.
Yeah, late a chalk.
We like
for
that.
sure.
Okay.
Lock that up.
Yeah. So, and speaking of which, tight ends, pretty similar. Under 1.5 tight ends in the first round is -2,000.
Yes.
With the one
Mike Washington Jr. from Arkansas is who I was thinking
Speedster,
of.
right?
Yes. Oh, he's a big guy. No,
okay.
he's a big
Speedster.
guy.
I'm thinking.
And Jadarian Price is listed right here on this big board here. Todd McShay's big board.
Number 3.
RB2. Yeah.
Oh, 2.
He's got Price 2 and then Washington 3.
Okay. So. Interesting, and neither are first rounders, so we like the under. So yeah, under on the tight end. The projected only tight end to be going in the first round is Kenyon Sadiq from Oregon. 15.5. Sean is the number currently, +155 to go under, -205 to go over. Tight end market's always a little bit weird, because you have a couple. You have the positional scarcity or value argument. You have the general who is actually even in the market for a first round tight end feels like generally a luxury pick. Although you think back to some of the teams that have drafted these, Brock Bowers comes to mind, to a team that did not have a luxury pick.
Right.
Kyle Pitts got drafted in the top 10 to a team that did not have a luxury pick. And so it made me think that, this is certainly probably just look at it as like a weapon.
What is this over under?
15.5.
Wow.
It is juiced. It is juiced. So the over is minus 205 right now.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say.
And so
I'd be surprised if he goes top.
If you think about like what teams are in,
this is a heavy tight end 2 draft, if you will. Like it's probably
a deep tight end class.
It's a deep after Sadiq. They say that the most tight ends ever were invited to the combine. It was like 28 tight ends or something this year. So like it's like a day, not even day 2, like day 3, day 4. I guess it's loaded with decent tight ends you can get value at.
Okay. I wonder. Let me pull up his entry.
But Sadiq he was on the freak list, of course. He tore up the combine.
Yeah,
he was the story of the combine.
He certainly was one of those guys. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the Eagles are listed at plus 550.
Yep.
Again, be pretty surprised. They just reworked Dallas Goedert's deal, get him one more year in Philly. They're pretty predictable and usually in what they do in the first round and not tight ends. Second round, sure, but first round, if we're assuming he's going in the first round, I don't know.
If he drops to 23, though, is that where we're at?
Yeah.
If he drops to 23, I can see them taking him.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
I still don't think they will, but
I would be surprised if they take him.
And they signed what's his face too, Kakalmaka, right?
Yes,
that
please.
Great Calcaterra?
All of that. All of that.
I'll say that.
I hate him. I can't believe they signed him.
So
I don't hate him. I don't hate him personally, but I mean, like, geez.
Yeah, he was
definitely misused.
Yeah,
by being on the field.
Yeah,
I'd say the consensus.
Not a good blocker.
The consensus has him going to the Panthers.
The chalk to
which what are the odds?
Tampa
Panthers
Bay,
are 3-1.
I know Tampa Bay was a big play for him. Everyone was talking about
Tampa Bay is the odds-on favorite at 3-1. Panthers 3-1. Eagles plus 550. Rams at 6-1. Ravens plus 750. I mean, the Rams do make sense at 6-1 with the idea that they were supposedly super in on Brock Bowers.
Rams makes a lot of sense, actually. Because they want to bring in, they do want another weapon. I can see him taking a receiver too. I can see him taking like especially at what are they picking 13?
The Rams, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I think the Falcons traded up for Pierce. Huh?
I know, right? They absolutely kill. Terrible. If Mekhi Lemon's there, I can see him taking someone like that. But also there's Pierce. You know who I like here though, and I think he's going to drop. And I think there's too many wide receivers and edges and tackles in this draft for someone to reach. If he goes through there, the one I do like in the mid range is the Niners at 16-1. Shanahan loves tight ends. He needs tight ends. Kittle's. Who knows what's going on with that injury situation there? If he falls to 20, what do they pick? 27th. Yeah, 27th, the Niners take it. If he drops to 27, 16-1, the Niners are taking him.
Can I get involved in the conversation?
Sure.
Little bit of a longer price. Where are the Houston Texans?
28-1.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Yes.
So they run a similar offense. They are desperate to validate CJ. They need to know, right? This is one of those seasons where it's like, we got to know what we got in CJ Stroud.
This is a make or break year.
It potentially is a way for them to more cheaply get a weapon. They of course have Nico Collins. They drafted Noel and Higgins last year out of Iowa State.
They're good drafters. Nico Collins, 3rd round pick.
Dalton Schultz maybe leaves a little to be desired in terms of the ability to stretch the field. What is CJ Stroud's greatest ability? Probably throwing the stuff down the field. Sadiq's going to be a vertical threat. That's who I'd like sprinkle.
What about
also it sells the narrative that like I don't know when he's going to get drafted. I have read stuff that seems to connect the Panthers to him, so that maybe is the ultimate stopping point at 19. But the Texans, as I said earlier, have shown a willingness to go get a guy if they feel like they want to get that.
They draft well. The Texans do draft well.
And so it also covers me in a slide scenario. But yeah, they stood out to me as a potential.
What about
fit.
the Vikings?
Same type of fit.
Hawkinson seems to be not working out.
Got to make sure 9 and/or Kyler have all the
him
weapons.
in a dome in that offense.
You're a new GM, and that's going to be your first round pick.
That's how GMs think. Splash.
Is that a splash though? That's what I worry. Like, well,
that is the thing. And GMs are always no matter what happens later on, they're always remembered for their first draft and kind of judged. And it's hard to shake that first draft.
And tight ends so often. I can't imagine,
especially a guy who blocks well. Fantasy community doesn't like him, by the way, for some reason.
I just don't want. If I'm a GM, I don't know if that is a splash pick for me. I think that's an argument against.
Really?
Yeah.
Kenyon Sadiq, this super athletic freak that you would be able to plug in with Justin Jefferson in that offense in a dome, a guy known for his speed. You don't think the fantasy community would be like, oh man, this is awesome.
It just doesn't strike me as the thing that the team needs.
Sure. Splash plays are rarely what the team needs.
It's more likely to be a belly flop as these.
Yeah, but that's still a splash.
But I think
you're right. I think you're hung up on the semantics of a splash.
I think
splash is a big name that people are like, wow, that's crazy. I don't know if it's going to work out. I think they just fired
their GM for doing. I don't think they're gonna. I don't think the Vikings will be the team that pull the trigger.
Okay. All right, now I got to play the Vikings out of spite.
Okay,
give me the Vikings.
Anyway, so what? Any wild card teams you think? Because I did have a kind of a thought.
Okay,
a little bit off the reservation. Could the Bengals? Could the Bengals give Joe Burrow a weapon
at 10? I mean, it's a possibility. I mean, they
I think they realize there are so many holes.
They're a dumb team. Do they realize that though?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
They're very dumb. Like you, Sean, this is your point that you always bring up. There's all the intel we get of what teams should do, and then there's on draft days what these teams do. Everyone is do. They are morons. Half these teams.
Everyone pounds the table saying they need to draft offensive linemen, which means they probably won't draft an offensive lineman.
1000%. Well, though I know, true, but they also need to defend the Bengals. Need defense as well. Always Caleb Downs. They like putting him in that position there to safety.
What are the Chiefs?
Do you think the three of us, if we just use a consensus mock drafts, could go in basically with that and pick a pretty mid-range draft? I'd say respectable as teams that are locked in to do awards and compared to, 30 a top 20 draft. Just picking off basic I think we could too.
Yeah, we could do a decent.
We've done way more drafts than most of these GMs. They don't.
That's
grind.
what I'm saying.
They've never done a 24-hour best ball stream.
That's 100% right.
Grind. I mean, while tired, called it draft day too.
Could be
a great.
Could be a world record. Guinness pending. We've inquired.
They weren't. They didn't seem too interested.
Not super interested. No.
So no one else. No other wild cards here.
I mean, he would have to drop.
Bills like tight ends.
Do they? Then they just pay Knox.
Yeah. The Jags, they're a wild card. Don't have a first round pick. Would have to get cute.
Yeah.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
I mean, they got Ferguson. I don't know if
I feel like if I was a fan of a team that drafted Sadiq, I would be a little sad.
Why?
Because it's likely he's going to be a bust.
Based off what?
It's just tight ends.
I mean, Brock Bowers, Trey McBride. We just have two good examples of guys getting drafted high.
When did Trey McBride get drafted? Second round, right?
How about your Kansas City?
Yeah,
Chiefs?
but I mean, he got drafted pretty high.
I just think.
I know Kelsey just got a 3-year, $60 million deal, which is actually a 1 year, $12 million deal.
Chiefs, because that is a Chiefs. Yeah, give me Chiefs and Texans.
Give me Chiefs. I'll take Niners and Chiefs.
My general take on a tight end that is like a first round tight end is Brock Bowers. I didn't want him. Yeah.
Are you? But
am I wrong about him?
Yeah.
I think wrong about Bowers.
I think Bowers is a good player, but Bowers is not a good player because he's an athletic freak.
He's an elite player.
He's an elite player because he's an elite football player.
He hasn't had a quarterback yet. And he's an elite tight end.
Too often we have elite athletes.
Right.
Kyle Pitts, where
Kyle Pitts is coming around.
He's okay, but I mean, people were talking about him like a fucking. He was a gold jacket player.
Paul raised the banner, coming around. Pitts is coming around. Bowers had the production though at Georgia. Sadiq doesn't have this. Like
no, that's
right.
most of the time these guys don't have the production, or they don't actually do the NFL.
But who
things.
else are you, besides Pitts? Who else are you thinking?
I mean,
Pitts is a flat out bust
for the most
100%, 1,000%.
Well, when you draft him that high.
Right.
For the give me another first round tight end.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yes. Last
Brock
year we
Bowers.
had. Last year there was
Brock
two.
Bowers.
Last year there was two hits: Colson Loveland and Tyler Warren.
Oh, yeah.
Both good tight ends.
Not saying either. I think Loveland's on a much better path. I'm not saying.
Well, Tyler Warren's quarterback broke halfway through the year.
Well, let's see how. He
they had Philip Rivers throwing the ball.
Both teams that drafted quarterbacks in the first round
Phillip
last
Rivers
year
was trying to murder him.
Both teams that drafted these tight ends last year were happy now with that decision.
Sure.
After 1 year of data.
Okay, that's fine.
Brock Bowers, Colston Loveland,
they're not bust
Tyler
yet.
Warren.
They're none of those are busts yet.
No, they're all good.
Great points.
But I don't know if they're home run picks.
Colston Loveland's a great
I think
player.
Brock Bowers.
Do you watch the playoffs?
I think Brock Bowers is a home run pick.
Yes.
Colston Loveland's an awesome
I think you're
pick.
feeling great about Colston Loveland.
Yes.
Feeling great.
And I think Tyler Warren, you're like, yeah, let's see how year 2 goes.
I feel great about
good.
Tyler Warren too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel best about Bowers.
And
Then maybe Warren. Then Loveland.
These are all
and
hurting your
right.
point, right?
what do you mean?
I don't think Sadiq's as good as any. All three of these
but
guys.
Sadiq
though.
didn't.
No,
Like,
you do have a point. Sadiq's not any of those three guys.
but Sadiq.
But they're talking about him like he is because of basically his
Well,
workouts.
no, my point is that is athletic testing and tight ends is often a tricky match. And so, yeah, I will prefer to not be the person to put my neck out for that.
Give me Sadiq to the Giants, 55-1.
There it is. That's
two tight ends set likely.
They do like to go double tight for sure.
I mean, that means have 2 trade down. If that includes a couple trade downs, I guess I can be proven wrong.
You don't think they like him at 5?
No, I don't. Sean's been too locked in this to not
All
football.
Right. Kramer officially on the Chiefs and Texans.
Yep.
Hawkinson was a first round pick. Noah Fant, just real quick. Hayden Hurst, famously drafted before Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
By the Ravens.
Yep, that was a very bad pick. Good
OJ
point.
Howard.
Great pick there.
New York Giants selected Evan Ingram, of course.
Well,
in the
Evan
first
Ingram
round.
and
I think it's where all this is coming from. This
No.
pain.
Yeah,
It's a lot of
Ingram.
Ingram.
but those
Ingram
are both
pain.
good examples because Evan Ingram especially, he was again athletic testing.
Yep. David Njoku, Eric Ebron.
Another one, athletic testing. He was he was fast.
Tyler Eifert, not so much. Jermaine Gresham.
He was just a big dude.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's true.
Not a very good
Greg
pick.
Olson, Vernon Davis. Let's
you
not
go.
forget Vernon Davis.
I mean, talk about crazy genetics.
Was he 6th overall?
Him and his brother.
What number pick was he?
He was high.
He was like
He was
something.
high.
He was very
And
high.
both him and remember his brother quit halfway through a game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Vontae Davis.
Vontae Davis. And
He
Vernon,
just quit halfway through a football game.
yeah, locker room. He said he was out. Vernon Davis got sent out by Singletary.
Oh man, remember that he mooned him, or that there was a mooning, to get the hell out of here.
And who could forget Kellen Winslow Jr.?
Yeah, he was a soldier.
All right, so officially Kramer on the Chiefs and Texans for Sadiq. I'm going Vikings and Rams. CJ on the 49ers and Chiefs.
So you don't think the Eagles are in because
I think I mean, if he falls to him, he's definitely available. But they're not going to trade up for him by any means. I think he's either gone by then, and I still think they need it. They need a lot of needs tight end because they re-signed Goddard. If they didn't re-sign Goddard, yes. But because they re-signed Goddard,
maybe, but also too, like they
have a lot. I mean,
they have a certain type of guy Howie Roseman drafts
and like
in the first round, and it's not tight end.
Correct, and like I said, this is a big day 2, day 3 tight end draft, and they have a lot of day 3 picks.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance they'll draft.
They'll draft a tight end, but not here.
yeah, it's probably going to be the Panthers.
You'd have to go back to 1988. Keith Jackson, last time the Eagles drafted a tight end in the first round.
Great draft pick. He came from a wishbone running offense. He had no receiving stats whatsoever, and that was pure athletic.
Yeah,
Channel 3 today.
I like
that
Keith
was all
Jackson,
potential. Keith Jackson was great.
Yeah.
Quarterback's best friend. Yeah, boy. That's from Buddy's Watching You, the rap song from 1987.
Buddy's watching you. Hey, make sure you check out the Bottom Line Bombs with CJ Sullivan on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Download the app. Also, baseball's back. Check out the MLB Gambling Podcast daily. MLB Podcast. If you say, hey, I'm bored, I got to get some more action, download the MLB Podcast, MLB Gambling Podcast. Check those guys out. Get in on the action. Tomorrow we're going to be breaking down the Final Four with Colby Dant, aka Pick Dundee. Answered all your questions and comments over on Spotify. While you're there, toss us a couple 5 stars, and of course, as always,
thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
for the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the money green. He's Ryan.
You should also check out the Tennis Gambling Podcast.
Kramer. Let it ride.
You're in Cabo.